Nostalgia. It's a psychological condition that affects every single human being on this planet we call Earth. It's a feeling that makes us yearn for the good old days. That usually varies depending on who you ask. Being able to relive some precious memories can make us happy or cry. In times of sadness or stress, it's important to maintain these feelings of joy, almost as a reminder of all the good things we've experienced in our lives. These good things could be spending time with friends, being at an event, playing a video game, watching a film or TV show, or even listening to a song. That last thing I just mentioned is going to be the topic of this video. To be more specific, this video is going to be about FIFA Soundtracks. With FC27 coming out soon, I thought it would be a good time to bring up the music in these games. I know that it's called FC now. I'm not that much of an idiot, but for the purposes of this video, I'll call every EA football game soundtrack up until this point as FIFA Soundtracks. So I hope we can all be on the same page here. Also, for copyright reasons, I'm not going to play any of the songs that I'm about to discuss with you today because, like YouTube hates me and whatnot. To me, FIFA soundtracks make up about 30% of my brain capacity when it comes to nostalgia. From FIFA 08 to FC26, every game had at least 5 bangers, even if the overall quality of each soundtrack can vary. I have a custom-made playlist on Spotify that is full of my favourite songs that appear in a FIFA game. These songs make playing the game a more pleasant experience. With that, along with my love of football in general, they're the only reasons why I still buy the game every year at this point, in spite of how boring the game is. I think I might have a problem. What makes FIFA soundtracks so great is that depending on which game in the series I've played, I usually associate it with what happened in my life and what the world of football was like around the same time. I'm sure some of you can relate to me, even if it's a different game entirely with licensed music. Here are some examples so I can better explain what I mean. But before that, it's worth mentioning that I don't claim to be any kind of music critic. I can't even play an instrument competently or know the subtleties in music making. My opinions on these songs are only based on vibes and nothing else. Let's start by travelling back in time to the year 2008. One day in the middle of spring or summer, my parents decided to buy me FIFA 08 for the Wii. This was the first game in the series I've ever played, though for some reason, I also had a copy of FIFA 99 for the PS1. I don't know how or why I have it, but it's mine I guess. Even though this was my first FIFA game, I never really played it much. Maybe it's because my interest in football at that point was fleeting, and I had plenty of games that I preferred playing over this one. Like Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. There are some pretty good songs, like Monster by The Automatic, Young Folks by Peter Bjorn and John, Clash by Junkie XL. Good stuff all round, but they didn't leave much of an impression on me at the time. But then we get to Christmas when I got FIFA 09 and oh boy, this is more like it. I played FIFA 09 a lot back when I first got it. By that point, I started to follow football a lot more, and this game satisfied my hunger for more of it. There's Black and Gold by Sam Sparrow, Kids by MGMT, Platform Moon by Jupiter One, Always Where I Need to Be by The Cooks. Just pure class. You also have the Wii exclusive songs that feature in the Footy Party mode, where you can play football as Mii's. They are certified bangers, and no one can tell me otherwise. These songs would go on to help develop my taste in music, which is basically anything that sounds right to me, but according to my Spotify Wrapped, it's indie rock, as most of the artists in these soundtracks are considered indie, which I think is great. FIFA has always been a game series that gives exposure to relatively unknown artists and bands from around the world, while also adding some established people here and there. Just as a side note here, FIFA 10 on the Wii has its own original soundtrack compared to the main version of the game. I mean, I like it, but it just made me question why EA or Nintendo or whoever it was that was in charge decided to take a different approach when it comes to the soundtrack. Considering that, like, every single version of FIFA that came out on the Wii after FIFA 10 had the real soundtrack, like, it just makes this game's soundtrack even more of a mystery to me. Now we'll jump into the future again, this time to 2012. When FIFA 13 came out, I had just started secondary school. I was also spending weekends with my grandparents at their house, watching DVDs of old BBC comedies while eating takeaways, and I didn't have to worry about shaving yet. FIFA 13 was the first game in the series I bought myself with my own money, as well as getting it the day after it came out, whereas before I had to wait until Christmas to get the latest in the series. I think it was also the first thing I ever bought in Extravision instead of renting. Rest in peace, Extravision. To me, FIFA 13 might just have the best soundtrack of any game in the series, in my opinion. You've got...
Let's fucking go.
If So, Get Away With It, Panda, Feud, Weight of Living Part 2, We Are Not Good People, Us Against the World, Follow, Professional Griefers, Hailbop, Get Out While You Can, Got That Fire, Spark, See the Light, Bliss Out, On Top of the World, Clubfoot, Black, White and Blue, Finale, Speed the Collapse, Paddling Out, I'll Be Alright, Fly or Die, Shine the Light, Wild, Jungles, September, Champion, Saturday, Ghost, Gold Rushed, Sleep Alone, Quesadilla, We Come Running, Reign of Gold, and Pass 2. Yeah, safe to say I like all these songs. 4 years after that, there's FIFA 17. This was the game in the series in which I was the most hyped for at the time, and when my investment in FIFA was at its peak. I was 17 and in my final year in secondary school, studying for the Leaving Cert. Whenever I wasn't playing Overwatch religiously or looking at evil Kermit memes, I was playing the Journey mode on FIFA 17, while listening to Send Them Off by Bastille, Surprise Yourself by Jack Garrett, Shelter by Porter Robinson and Madian. Honestly, I could keep going. You know what? All this talk about FIFA soundtracks has made me really thirsty. I mean, let's see if there's anything to drink in the fridge. Oh no. It's Corona. I didn't buy any Corona for this because Corona tastes like shit. Remember the COVID-19 pandemic? Yeah, I'd like to forget that too. While I was trying not to be closer than 2 meters to someone out of fear that the police will rugby tackle me for not social distancing, I was also listening to songs like Fado by Milky Chance and The Cracks by Another Sky, both of which were in FIFA 20, which was the most recent game in the series at the time. A few months before COVID happened, I started life in a different college and met so many great people. We went on nights out as friends and we had a great time together. Meanwhile, Liverpool, the team I support, were European champions after we won the Champions League the previous season. We went on to win the UEFA Super Cup, FIFA Club World Cup and the Premier League during the 2019-20 season, our first league title in 30 years. My life during this time was great, if you ignore the lockdowns. During the latter half of 2020, when people still had to wear face masks and constantly appearing in Zoom meetings, I was listening to songs like Been a Minute by Layma and Is It True by Tame Impala, both of which appeared in FIFA 21. The point I'm trying to make here is that COVID was tough, not just for me, but for everyone else. We all had our own struggles during lockdown, so of course it's normal to consume the things we love doing in order to maintain our sanity. This video is still about FIFA songs, I promise. Now we are here, back in the present, a COVID-less world, with FC 26, the most recent game in the series. For now, I'm not gonna lie, I think this might just be the worst soundtrack in the series, and I doubt future installments will get any better. I do like songs such as People Need People by Good Neighbours and Yellow Bike by Hard Life, but here's the thing. The urge not to put a giant orange rock man in the video after saying that is killing me. What I'm asking for, or what I desire, just no longer exists anymore. Music has changed a lot since the late 2000s and early to mid 2010s. EA since the very beginning have always been following trends when it comes to picking songs for their FIFA soundtracks, and FC26 is no different. Back when I started playing FIFA, and sometime after that, most of the songs that appeared in the games had that happy indie vibe that makes you want to dance. It's hard to explain what the soundtracks have been like for the last few years. The most common genre of songs in recent titles tend to be grime or rap. I actually remember going through a bit of a grime phase during 2017. At the time, I would have loved to have had that type of music feature in future games. Ironically enough, by the time EA started to flood the games with grime, I kinda stopped caring. The reality is that the songs I liked during the formative years of my life were products of their time, and while these types of songs still exist in some capacity, they don't have the same cultural impact as they used to, and the odds of them appearing in and dominating a future soundtrack anytime soon are extremely low. Since FC25, in some countries, you can connect your Spotify account to the game. I'm personally not a big fan of this, because I use FIFA as a means of discovering new songs, and potentially taking that away from me just makes me sad. Like I said, even if the overall quality of the most recent soundtracks aren't as great as the older ones, you can still find a few gems here and there. And besides, if you really wanted to listen to your own music while playing, you can just have the Spotify app on in the background. By potentially removing the soundtrack, you take away the chance of finding new songs and giving each game its own musical identity. Do you understand, EA? Oh yeah, I forgot. They're a company, not a human being, so of course they don't have any ears to listen with. That's probably why they spell their name as EA, because it sounds like they're saying, eh? Before I end the video, I want to briefly bring up the 2010 and 2014 World Cup games. They're both pretty good when it comes to their soundtracks. They're great for representing the carnival atmosphere of World Cup tournaments, but if you ask me, the 2010 game had the better quantity and quality of songs. I could have brought up more soundtracks in the series since FIFA 08, but to be honest with you, if I did that, then this video would be way too long. And besides, you probably already get the point I'm trying to convey anyway. So yeah, in conclusion, FIFA soundtracks overall are fantastic, and I would encourage you all to listen to them now. So what have we learned here today, folks? Well, EA are a terrible company and they don't deserve any respect. But that's not gonna stop me from buying these games every year. Yeah, I'm in debt.
Messi, encara 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 Messi, gol, 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 gol.